The following podcast is rated D for dumb. You're listening to Dumbing It Down with Dave, the fastest podcast on earth. Listen to Dave commute to and from work on the New York State Thruway in his 2008 Kia Rio LX. He talks about pragmatism, truth, happiness, and the search for it all. Join Dave as he asks and tells you how life ought to be. And now, here's Dave.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Dumbing It Down with Dave. My name is Dave Canyon. That's right. All right. Fantastic. Welcome to episode 56. Hello, Dum-Dums. Welcome to the show. It's great to have you. It's great to have you once again. It's been a couple of days. I've been a little bit late, but it's better late than never. Anyway, I'm just in my car. I'm in Rensselaer, New York. It is snowing. I'm going to be recording this podcast in a snowstorm. It's going to be a biggie, and I'm headed home. It is 4:03 in the morning, and I'm excited about doing this show. Episode 56, I already have a title for it. It's called Episode 56, I Support the Ban. I Support the Ban. Yes. We're going to talk about that and many other things as well, or at least a few other things. Let's start off with the mileage report. I'm not in my Kia, so I can't do a full-fledged mileage report. But I'm in the Kia. I'm in the Fit because my son has the Kia because my son's Volvo is in the shop. That's how it goes. Everybody moves up a car. When we need a car, we just move it around. We just move things around. My wife gets a ride into work, so it's all good. I'm in her Kia. Anyway, wow, it's really sticking fast, buddy. It's really sticking. The mileage report, which I don't have any mileage for you. I know I'm about 226,000 miles in the Kia, but it's brought to you by Pipe Dream. Pipe Dream is the show. Pipe Dream Live, brought to you by the people from comedypipe.com. Anywhere you are in the world, if it's Wednesday at 8 o'clock on the eastern seaboard of the United States of America, more specifically Schenectady, it's time for Pipe Dream Live. It's a 1-hour show. You can stream it on comedypipe.com, or you can watch it live on YouTube. There you go. And it's hosted by Mike, also known as 3D. All right, there you go. And I'm going to be making an appearance of some sort in the near future on that show. Not so much that show, but a different version of that show. Anyway, more details to follow. Just check out my Facebook page. Check me out at Dave Canyon on Facebook. And don't forget, there's a Dumbing It Down with Dave group. There's a group now. I used to have a like page. I thought that was going to be it. A like page. I have the website, which is dumbingitdownwithdave.com, but I also have a like page. And then I was told, hey, you know what you should do? You should get a group. You should get a group page. And I was like, what are you talking about? I thought the like page was all I was going to need. Now I got to tell everybody to go to a group page. And then it turns out I can just invite them, which is really, I just insert them into the group. I click invite or I just add them like instantaneously. So I've added people that didn't want to be added. I don't like doing that, but whatever. You know, I got to do things for this show that I don't normally like to do, like to promote it and plug it. It's uncomfortable for me. It makes me feel like I'm the Mary Kay lady. I don't want to be the Avon lady. I don't want to be the Mary Kay lady, where I'm making people do things and I'm bringing my show to their attention. You know, listen, it's just not my thing. I don't mind doing sales, but I don't like doing sales. You know what I'm talking about? I like to do enough sales, whatever's enough. I don't like to do too much sales because then people will avoid you. Oh, there's that guy. He's going to sell us something. I don't want to sell you anything. Anyway, so I appreciate you finding the show any way you have. Episode 52, my sister Dina, is still growing in popularity. I still don't know why. I still don't know who's listening to it. But every day I check the statistics and more people listening to it. I think the last time I looked at the statistics, 116 people have listened to that show, which is more than twice as much as the nearest most popular episode of Dumbing It Down with Dave, so I thank you very much. All right, let's get right to it. Even before we get to I Support the Ban, I did something a couple of weeks ago, which is a prelude. Maybe it's a prelude. It's an introduction to I Support the Ban, where I said a couple of episodes ago that I was going to do a count-up. A lot of people do countdowns. Majority of the people in the world do a countdown. You know, from 10 down to 1 or up to 1, whatever they want to call it. It's called a countdown. I'm doing a count up, and the count up I'm doing is this. Inauguration Day was January 20th. All right. Now it is, I think it's February 9th. I'm just going to guess it's February 9th. It could be February 8th. What day is it? Can I tell on my phone? Okay, it's February 9th. 9 days of February, and the inauguration was the 20th. So there's 12 days at the end of January. 21 days since the inauguration. So here's my count up. I said I was going to do it, and I forgot to do it the last couple of episodes, so I'm doing it today. It's been 21 days since Donald J. Trump became president of the United States. And my contention is this, that nothing he's going to do as president of the United States is going to affect me. Not affect me, affect me. Nothing he's going to do. That's based on the history of all the previous presidents since I've been conscious of the presidency, which is basically 1969, which was Richard Nixon. I think he was president until 1973. So I am confident that nothing he's going to do is going to affect me. And we'll talk about why I'm choosing that. But so that's it. The count-up begins. It has been 21 days, 12 days of January, 9 days of February, 4:09 in the morning now. Nothing has affected me. Nothing. My life has not changed one bit, because my contention is that what I do is I go to work, I come home. I go to sleep. I don't sleep a lot, but I should. I go to work, I come home. I go to work, I come home. My life has been affected by only several things. Mostly money. My life is affected by my income. The more income I make, the happier my life is. I have bills to pay. I have things to fix and repair and purchase. I'm not a big purchaser. I don't purchase a lot of things. I purchase things to survive, like heat, car repair, fuel, food. I don't live an extravagant lifestyle. I never have. So I know in my adulthood there's been the Clinton presidency, 2 Bush presidencies, a Reagan presidency when I was in the Navy, back when I was like 18 and 19 years old. There's been a lot of presidencies, several, a few, however you want to describe it. Never has anything that they've enacted, no bills that became laws, nothing that has affected me. So I'm doing a count up, because everybody's up in arms. Everybody's out of control on Facebook. Everybody's screaming. Everybody's posting. All these memes are flying across the screen. All these things that people are saying, these horrible things. And you know what? I don't buy into any of that. I don't think my life is going to change at all. As long as I keep this job, and as long as I keep on delivering the milk, as long as I keep on driving a truck, my life is going to go well. I'll tell you what has affected me, but it doesn't count because it's not part of the presidency. I'll tell you what has affected me is that a couple of days ago, my furnace took a dump. It took a dump. It just went, we're done. No more heat, Dave. That's it. It made some noises. It was horrifying. And then it's a fairly new furnace. It's like 5 years old. And then it went, we're done. No more heat. What are you going to do, Dave? So I had to call the furnace repairman, and he gave me a lot of bad news. He came last night and he fixed it. Took a couple of days. Had to order a part. So that affected me. That's the type of stuff that affects me. You know what else affected me? I sold my van the other day. I had a van I bought a couple of years ago for a part-time job that I had while I was doing this job. I'm a hard-working American. I was really working hard. I was working too hard, as a matter of fact. I had that job for 14 months. I made a lot of money. And if it wasn't for one specific ice storm where I got stuck on a hill, I'd probably still be doing that job. But I had enough. I was exhausted. It all happened at the right time or the wrong time, however you want to describe it. I made it back to where to the depot where I was working with this van. Let's just call it a depot. And I told my boss, that's it. Today was my last day. I'm giving you a notice. It's not my last day, but I gave him my notice. I think I gave him like a 2-month notice, because it takes a while in that particular job to replace you. And I like the owner, and I didn't want to leave him in a lurch and just give him a week or 2 weeks notice. It's a job where I could have just said, goodbye, I'm leaving. But I didn't want to be that type of guy. I never try to be that. I always try not to be that type of guy. So I gave him the 2-month notice. I had the job for about 14 months. And I worked in the winter. It was brutal. I worked 2 winters in that job. Brutal. Anyway, so the van is sold. Guess how much I sold the van for? You want to know how much I sold the van for? I'm going to tell you. I sold the van for enough so I could pay the furnace guy to fix the furnace. How do you like that? So I'm even Steven now. Can't get ahead in this world. You try, but you can't. It's hard. It's hard. You got to make a lot of money. So there's that. That's what affected me. These are the things that have been affecting me over the last 20, 30, 40 years. The amount of income I make versus the expenses I have. That's it. I don't know one thing that's been signed by a president and one law that's been enacted. I don't have any weapons, so I'm not a gun guy. I'm not marrying another guy, so I'm not a gay rights guy, although I support it. I'm a privileged white male, middle-aged, privileged white Jewish male, as a matter of fact, so civil rights doesn't affect me, although I support civil rights, of course. Equal rights, of course. I'm all about that, sure. And what else is there? Drugs? You can legalize marijuana all you want. I'm a truck driver. I have a CDLA license. I can't do drugs. So none of what is... and also, I have no plans on having an abortion anytime soon. So, and I don't think my wife is going to need an abortion. And hopefully my son and his girlfriend won't need an abortion. So, all of that has no relevance on my life. And all the international stuff, no relevance on my life. I mean, you're probably going to say, Dave, that's very, naive of you to think that nothing in the presidency affects you. Well, okay, I'll give you this. I'm going to give you this. Indirectly, I guess things affect me. Indirectly. Directly, not so much. So there's the count up. 21 days and counting. Every show I'll come on, I'll do the mileage report at some point, and at some point, I'll do the count up. It'd be nice to have a sponsor of the count up. If you want to sponsor it, I'll name your thing. We'll do an exchange. All right, there you go. Like I do with Comedy Pipe and Pipe Dream Live. So there's that. All right, good job. Any questions? Any comments? Feel free to leave a comment in the show comments wherever you're listening to. Are you listening on my app? I have an Android and an iOS app now. You can leave comments, or you can just send me an email. I haven't gotten an email in a long time. It's been a couple of months. I used to beg for emails, but then everybody was just leaving show comments. And you can email me at dumbingitdownwithdave@yahoo.com. Dumbingitdownwithdave@yahoo.com. I'm on the Twitter at dumbwithdave. At dumbwithdave. I'm also on Tumblr. I don't know what to do with it, but I'm on Tumblr at dumbwithdave. I think I'm also on SoundCloud. Whatever. So there you go. You got all these different avenues to communicate with me. And it'd be great if you listen to the show and you like it or dislike it. I'd like to know. Because I got 116 people listening to episode 52, my sister Dina, and I've only gotten 3 comments. Positive comments. But there's 113 other people. I don't know where you're from. I don't know who you are. It'd just be nice. Take a couple of seconds. Just leave a comment there wherever you're listening to the show. Say, hey, Dave, heard the show. My name is Bob. I'm from, whatever, Tallahassee. Okay, thank you, Bob. Or, whatever. I'd also like to know if the women are listening. I'd like to know. So, there you go. All right, I support the band. Here we go. I support the band. There you go. That's the title of the show, and I just said it out loud. What's the ban, Dave? This ban on people from other countries. They're calling it a Muslim ban. I don't call it a Muslim ban. Is that the way it looks like? That it's a Muslim ban? Well, that's unfortunate if that's the way it looks. I don't think that's the way it's supposed to be. And am I a little naive and a little idealistic? Okay, then I'll give you that. I might be. I think this country needs borders. I do. I think we need security. That's why I support the ban. I support, and let's not call it a ban. How about this? Let's just call it restrictions. Enforced restrictions on how people come into this country. There's nothing wrong with that. As long as it isn't, overtly biased. But then again, you might say, well, what happens if it's just non-overtly biased? What happens if it's just slightly biased? All I can say is this. I enjoy the freedoms of my country. I really do. I like to be able to go out and about. I like to be able to fly about the country, drive about the country. I like to be able to go to a cafe or a market. Anywhere where these homicide bombers, I don't call them suicide bombers. I think that's too romantic. Homicide bombers, because they kill other people. That's why. I like to be able to go to these places and not worry about these things happening. I like to go to the Boston Marathon and never have to think about, wow, are one of these people going to be one of those people that snuck through and brought a bomb to a marathon? What about the New Year's Eve celebration in New York City? It didn't happen there, but how horrible would that have been? What about the pressure cookers the pressure cooker that blew up last year in Manhattan, and the other one they caught it in time, or I think it was a dud. You know, there's been explosions and attacks in other parts of the world, right? Wasn't it Belgium? I apologize if I get these countries wrong. I can't remember everything. Was it Brussels or Belgium? And was it Paris? Was it Spain? It was horrible. And there's been other countries too, Morocco or something, Monaco or something. There's been other places. I don't want that. I vote no. I vote no on bombs in my country. So, does it seem unfair that we're stopping people from coming into this country? And does it seem unconstitutional? Does it seem like the United States has been a place where we've always accepted people? And with the Statue of Liberty and all that, with bring us your huddled masses and you're tired and you're poor. Yes, but if there's a slight chance that they're coming here with the intention to do harm, then we need to do some vetting. That's the word that they use. Extreme vetting. And I'm all for that. Because it shouldn't be that easy to get here. Once upon a time, in the 1920s, 1930s, hell, almost every day up until 2001. Let's not forget, and by the way, I realize that the people that crashed into the Twin Towers were Saudis. They were, I don't know if they were Muslim, but they were Saudis. I understand that. Maybe the restrictions are too specific. Maybe they need to be more broad. Maybe the area that they're covering is not large enough. I don't know. But I do support tighter borders. I do support security. I think as Americans, we all deserve to be safe. Don't you think so? Aren't you worth it? Aren't you worth safety? Your country's willing to defend you. That's what they're here to do. Provide you with a safe place to live. I don't want them to do much more for me. Just provide for me a safe place to live. That's not asking a lot. So that means it's going to be tough to get into this country. And by the way, there are other countries that are very tough to get into. I think, I'm not exactly sure, like New Zealand is one of those countries. I wish I had time to do the research, but I know this. New Zealand is a beautiful country. Beautiful. And I know this because a couple of years ago, I started investigating the possibility of leaving this country and working somewhere else, like Australia and like New Zealand. And they don't let you come into those countries and just stay there and live there unless you have a specific purpose. That I'm pretty sure of. There's many things I'm not that sure of, but I'm pretty sure it's very difficult to get into Australia as a United States citizen, as a Filipino, as an anything. I think the reason why I brought up Filipino because the Philippines is somewhat close to New Zealand, and there was a migration that was going on, but New Zealand said no more. We can't have all these people coming in. None of these refugees are going to New Zealand. I don't know how many of these refugees are going to Australia. I don't know. This show is not heavy on accurate statistics and facts. There's just Dave Canyon's thoughts, feelings, and ideas. And I know as I was researching the possibility of relocating to Australia, I started reading about New Zealand. It just came up when I click and click and click and I read and I read and I open this page and I open that page. It's very difficult to get into New Zealand. So the United States would not be the only country. And I am sure there are many other countries. I'm going to Canada in July. I'm taking a cross-country trip to Vancouver. I'm going to need a passport. And I'm sure, and I got to go through a checkpoint if I drive. Well, yeah, I'm probably going to drive into Canada. There are checkpoints all along the border. I don't know if you could just walk across through, in between checkpoints, through the woods. I don't know how that works. All I know is that I appreciate extreme vetting. In this day and age, you cannot deny that there is an element of hatred towards this country. Whether it's, jihad, Taliban, or Al-Qaeda. There's something going on. And they want us dead. They want to disturb us. They want to destroy us. They want to kill us. They want us out. Not all of them, of course not. Not all of them. So many of them just want to come here. Just like the Jews did. Just like the Irish did. Just like all the other immigrants did. The refugees. They want to, I understand that. Please understand I understand that. I'm not cold-hearted. I'm not one of these people that go, no, I don't want that people in here. But I do appreciate the thought that we're going to up our game a little bit. It really should not be that easy to come here. It should be controlled. You have to control it. It's just the smart economic thing to do. I'm not an economist. I would just know this. You just can't have 10,000 people flooding in. In the 1920s, 1930s, I don't know how they did it. I know my mother was an immigrant. She came from Poland. She was a concentration camp survivor. So I have an appreciation for that. There's this whole argument that we're a nation of immigrants or we're all from, people say yes, people say no. Well, I don't want to have that argument. I know that the United States is a place of freedom. And I value that freedom, but the freedom should not come with a price. It shouldn't be like, I'm going to go out there. I don't know if I'm going to live or die. I don't know if this cafe there's going to be a bomb. I shouldn't have to see something, say something. You go on the trains in New York, there's all these posters. See something, say something. It was nice 20 years ago where you could just walk around. You didn't have to look at anything. You just think, okay, there's a tourist, I'm a tourist, he's a tourist, we're all tourists, whatever. I'm having a hot dog, they're having a knish, they're having a dollar pizza, whatever it is. They're walking, I'm walking, we're seeing a show, they're seeing a show. But now, it's always on your mind. It's always on your mind. It is. Listen, folks. They flew an airplane. They flew 2 airplanes into those buildings. You can't forget that. You can never forget that. You can't forget that. It's the craziest thing to do. And we let it happen. That's the most amazing part, is that we let it happen. Because our security agencies didn't talk to each other. They knew that these guys were flying around, not learning how to land, not learning how to take off. And we just didn't put it together. Whatever. Okay. So I support restrictions. I support tighter restrictions. I do. The word ban is a little harsh. And yes, the Trump presidency is a little harsh. They don't really have a soft tone. But after 8 years of the soft president, and I'm not taking a shot at him, I'm just saying, I think it's the right thing to do. We need to be a little bit tougher. We need to cancel out the last 8 years of softness. And then all the other years prior to that where we just didn't know better. We can't have people flying into buildings here. We can't have people walking around with pressure cookers. We can't have people walking around here. And I know that the statistics are out there. Oh, there's only been one person killed by whatever, by a Muslim. Oh, I've seen that meme or whatever. I've seen that chart. But what are we going to do? We're going to wait until that chart goes from 0 to 10? And wasn't there like a military guy that was Muslim and he was in the United States Army and then he got crazy one day? We've had incidents. Wasn't there a shoe bomber? Wasn't there a famous shoe bomber on a plane? And wasn't there like an underwear bomber? Although I've been known to be an underwear bomber too. So I just think it's better to err on the side of caution. That's all. What do you think? You tell me. dumbingitdownwithdave@yahoo.com, or leave a comment in the comment section here on the show, episode 56. I support the ban. That's the title it's going to be. And people are going to be upset by it. I hope they listen to it. I hope they made it this far and understand it's not so much a ban I support as tighter restrictions. Okay, that's enough. Thank you, folks. I appreciate your patience. I'm curious what you think. Let me know. There is no right answer, as far as I know. There's no wrong answer either. But we got to do something. We're in a different age. We're in a different time. And I want safety. I want to be able to walk the streets of wherever I'm living, wherever I'm visiting, and know that the likelihood of something happening is slim and none. Mostly none. And for all the legitimate people, all the legitimate hardworking refugees that want a better life, absolutely. Welcome to this country. I hope you find everything you're looking for. It's not that easy, this country. Streets are not paved with gold. It's just not that easy. If you want to come here and have a difficulty with the language, and you want to look different, and you want to act different, and you want to pray different, God bless you. Good luck. It's hard enough just being a middle-aged, a privileged white male. It's difficult. I can't imagine how difficult it's going to be for you. But go for it. I know I don't want to go to your country. No chance in hell. That ain't happening for me. I'm happy right here. Although Australia sounds nice, and so does New Zealand. It's just very hard to get there. Very hard. Very hard to get a visa and get a work visa to work in those countries. They're not excited about people coming into the country. All right, there you go. Short show today. What else is there to talk about? Want to take a breath break? Okay. All right, let me test my nose out. All right. Let's do a breath break, and then we'll end it. We'll take a breather. We should take a breather. Want to take a breather? Is that what we're going to call it, a breather? Let's take a breather. That sounds better than breath break. Do we even have time? Yeah, I think I have time. All right, we're going to take a breather. I like that. I just created that. All right, here we go. Oh, boy. I think my nose is clogged. It's always clogged. It always sounds like this, doesn't it? All right, three big breaths. Here we go. First of three. Go. Exhale through the mouth. Second one. Go. All right, one last breather. Big one. All the way to the end and then some. Go. It hurts. That last one, I really try to take in a lot of air. How does that feel? You like taking a breather? It's good to take a breather. That breather was sponsored by Air. Anywhere you are in the world, if there's air, take a breather. Relax. Enjoy yourself. Calm down. Get off of Facebook. Stop posting crazy stuff. Stop with the memes. Stop with the hatred. All this hatred. Oh, my God. The hate. I hate. Too much hatred on Facebook. Spread a little joy. Spread a little happiness. Let's try to turn things around. Never mind the presidency. Nothing is affecting you. I like to say trust me, but how do I know? Maybe things are affecting you. They don't affect me. 21 days in, my life hasn't changed one bit. And I predict the next 1,460 days, well, actually 1,440 days, the next 4 years, nothing will affect me. I'm going to keep a count. The criteria is not that specific. It's what I decide. But you can offer me criteria. How about that? Offer me. You got criteria for me about my life being affected? I'd love to hear it. Tweet me at Done with Dave. Leave a show comment. Email me at dumbingitdownwithdave@yahoo.com. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Oh, yeah. Don't forget The Spark. Taking Over the Globe. Give that show a listen. Taking Over the Globe. Hosted by Jeff, The Spark. And Awesome Insanity Surfers. Yes. Good shows. With Linda. And Tamara. She has the book show. Shelf Addiction. There you go. SHELF. Shelf Addiction. Have any questions? Ask me. I'd love to answer them. Take care, folks. Good day. Good night. First of all, it's goodbye. Goodbye. Good day. Good night. Good luck. Good riddance. Godspeed and great skills. Take care. And don't forget to check me out at dumbingitdownwithdave.com. Go to the website. I got to work on that. I'm a little far behind. But dumbingitdownwithdave.com. Bye.